Look, and through the chair, can I take up the Minister's offer to listen to the views of the members of the committee on this question of the staff? I'm sure, like other deputies, I've had a constituent who came to me expressing concern about her future employment with the transfer of the from the Law Society, and I think she has legitimate concerns in that regard. And also the other deputies have raised this as well, and we've all got a letter from the Mandate Trade Union as well. I think everything should be done to ensure that people who are competent and qualified and are doing the job at the moment and who have maybe long experience in that field should be allowed to transfer or go through interview, whatever process is necessary to ensure that their employment continues.
Firstly, I want to thank deputies for their considered comments. This is a serious issue for the individuals concerned. We can't deal with it simply on the basis of because representations have been made, we have to make X decision. But we have to make a decision that's in the public interest, whilst also being conscious of the position of these individuals. Now, I certainly recognise that they are people who have expertise that would be of value to this body when established. I don't know personally whether all 20 individuals who make up the 16 full equivalent, would wish to be employed by this body. And I'm sure that's something readily ascertainable. We have been engaged with discussions with the Law Society and, of course, received their submissions on the issue. The amendment tabled by Deputy McLaughlin, which has been a useful focal point for discussing this issue, wouldn't actually achieve what his objective is. I think his objective is that individuals be transferred effectively to the body. His amendment says that the Minister may permit the authority to appoint members of the Law Society and Bar Council's administrative staff with the requisite qualifications and whose positions will be displaced with the commencement of the authority. Well, there's nothing preventing the authority at the moment recruiting or employing a member of the Law Society who does this work. That, come back to where I started on this, that would facilitate or ensure that there was no barrier to a member, for example, an individual working in the Law Society in this area at the moment, applying for a job, and there would be no barrier to them being given the job based on what the deputies proposed. But what the deputies proposed doesn't achieve what the deputy, I think, is talking about, which is providing for positions, if we assume all 20 would like these positions, for all 20 of these individuals within this body. It's just saying there's no barrier to them being recruited. It's not actually providing for their recruitment. So it doesn't actually achieve that objective. This is an issue of complexity, because from a human position, we'd all like to see individuals who do their job carefully retaining their employment. And from a human position, we all want to achieve that. There are complexities in this. The complexities are, of course, we're still in the area of public service constraints, the context of new bodies coming into being, and we're trying to reduce the number of bodies we have. This has been necessary to create a new body here. One of the means of staffing is transfers from other parts of the public service, where there are individuals with the relevant expertise who can be so transferred, and that ensures it keeps expenditure down, which is important. But quite clearly, this body will have to recruit some individuals of experience and expertise we don't have within the public service individuals who have worked in this particular area to any significant degree. So this is an important issue. But I want to thank deputies for allowing me now to be able to go back to government and to say that there is support across all sides represented in the House for what is being proposed in this context. It doesn't mean necessarily, I'm afraid, that I'll get sanctioned for this, but it's certainly something I'll further enter into discussions with the Law Society in relation to. There are issues deputies haven't adverted to of importance, and they would be of importance to the individuals concerned. There are, for example, issues relating to their pension positions. I don't have the detail of what their pension positions are with regard to their current employments, but quite clearly, if they're parties to private pension schemes couldn't be continued when in the public service. So that's an issue that of complexity. There are issues around the redundancy legislation in the context of what's being proposed. And certainly individuals employed currently by the Law Society it's not like the takeover of a private company by another company. They couldn't be compelled, for example, to work for the Legal Services Regulatory Authority if they didn't wish to do so. And in circumstances in which their employment was terminated, they would have certain redundancy entitlements. So there's a lot of complexity around this. It's not as simple as even Minister Howden, if in principle this was feasible, simply making a decision and it being effected, because it brings into play pension issues, redundancy legislation, the rights of each of the individuals concerned. But I certainly want to say, Chairman, I think this has been a very helpful discussion in our continuing to see how we address this issue, and I want to genuinely thank members for the discussion and for what they said. I would invite, I know I seem to do this with some regularity, but I would invite Deputy McLaughlin not to put his amendment, because it doesn't actually achieve the objective he set out to achieve, but it has achieved the objective of facilitating an important discussion around this issue. And I will report back to the House on this at report stage. I can't make a commitment on this. I can't make a commitment that the Legal Service Regulatory Authority will be taking all of these individuals into it if they all wish to be taken into it. I can't make that commitment. The commitment I can make is that I will further engage with the Law Society and with the Department of Public Service and Reform in relation to the issues and some of the complex matters that we haven't discussed that I've mentioned.
Okay. Sorry, can I come back in?
Of course, yeah.
Yeah,